Helps if I actually turn the audio on. Pro tip, kind of early on the list, one or two. Pro tip. Um, I thought I might try this experiment just to see if streaming something like this might be interesting and also work. I'm going to be doing a little bit of. I've got some time that I can do activities in a game called Fallen London, which is by Fail Better Games, and Fail Better Games. Their current product is Sunless Sea, which you may have seen on Steam. Go and take a look at it. Actually, let me really quickly. I can grab the URL for that. I think. Oops, helps if I go to the store page. Hold on a second. Let me grab the page for that. I'm going to paste that into chat. There's the link to Sunless Sea, and quite a lot of the narrative for Sunless Sea was actually reused from a game called Fallen London, which Fail Better Games created in conjunction with the release of The Night Circus, the book that is actually pretty good. I suggest checking it out if you're into that sort of genre or whatever, but definitely worth checking out. I enjoyed the story, and it could be completely standalone, or it could actually have a sequel at some point. But it might be worth checking out. The Fallen London, I think it was originally titled Echo Bazaar, and there's actually still some stuff in the game about Echo Bazaar. But it was on a dedicated website, and it was sort of a narrative game, a storytelling game that you could play that was sort of loosely set in a world inspired by Night Circus. The game has since moved on to Story Nexus, which is a service where you can actually create your own narrative games if you want to write the game, the cards with choices and menus and various responses to activities that you might take part in or to choose to do in the narrative, like a choose your own adventure basically, but there's the tools and things to make it a little bit easier. Let me paste in, this is the link to Fallen London itself, and you could actually start up. It's free to play. There is a sort of a time gate mechanism, so there's a gating mechanism where you can only do a certain number of activities at a certain time. But what you might do is just sort of experiment with it. If you do sort of a really inexpensive monthly, you can actually get double the number of activities per unit of time. They refresh every so often, so you can actually play multiple times a day, or if you kite it, you can actually play throughout the day. But if you use a whole bunch of activities right away, then you've got to wait for the rest of them to show up again. Let's see. Is it just Moobot and me? Yeah, it's just Moobot and me. So I might as well just go and switch over. This is what Fallen London looks like. I have actually started a game already, so I'm actually into it. You can see in the upper left corner, there's the two. Hi, kitty, yes. Come here. Come here. You freaked out I'm talking to myself? Come here. Come on. Come on. Say hi. So I've got 40 of 40 actions left right now, and I just thought I might sort of play through them for the heck of it on the stream. And actually, let me do this really quickly. There. And I'm not entirely sure what the best thing to do right now would be, since I have all these activities. I'm not really in the middle of a particular thing, but well, okay. So I have the 40 activities, and you can see that it says in the left side column, I'm an exceptional friend, 13 days left. I paid for 1 month of activity, and that actually gives you access to a particular area that has some storylets, little bits of story that you can play from there. And there's also, there's a currency, in-game currency, like gold or whatever in WoW and things like that. And then there's also fate, which is related to Nex. Fate is a currency that you get in the narrative itself. You can collect it with certain activities, and it's only usable in Fallen London. But Nex is sort of a like Station Cache with Sony. It's for storing Nexus. You can use Nex to help support any of the stories that you're playing, and the stories that you're playing can create particular storylets that cost a particular amount of money, or a particular number of Nex or fate. Hi. Okay. Kitty's not used to me talking to myself. He might show up on stream a couple times, but that's the voice of Mayday. Mayday Hypotenuse Terrapus. Kind of a mouthful, and so's the name. Let's see what I've got. You can also see on the left side, you can see some stats. Watchful, shadowy, dangerous, and persuasive are basically the character stats, and then the rest of these are things that are acquired: scandal, and suspicion, nightmares, dreaded. And there's actually others that will stack there. One of the other ones I remember particularly is bizarre, but you get these qualities that you rack up based on the storylets that you've collected, the narratives that you've gone through, but also the equipment that you have. For example, down here at the bottom where it says dreaded, there is actually, down here, dreaded, there is a possession that I have that gives me the 1 point, and you can see that it has 0 plus 1, which is the indication that something that I'm carrying is giving me that stat. And then persuasive and shadowy and watchful also have pluses, and so those are actually added to based on items that I wear or have on me. And you can see I am actually right now in a particular area. I'm in Watchmaker's Hill. There's an option to travel. Let me just show you the map right here. Well, it says "Welcome to Watchmaker's Hill, delicious friend" at the top. But there's also this map, and there's a various place where you live that has certain storylets, things to rest, and you can sort of wear yourself out with wounds, and you also have nightmares that accumulate, which, if you're familiar with any sort of Call of Cthulhu sort of game where you sort of accumulate insanity and things get crazier and crazier, and eventually something really bad happens. Well, nightmares are like that. And I think Scandal and Suspicion are like that too. I haven't really gotten those up high enough to really have something happen. I did have nightmares happen, and I got shunted over into sort of a locked storylet, sort of a caged area of the narrative, and I had to work through that until I had reduced my nightmares to sufficiently. I think actually I had to reduce them to 0 in order to get out of that. Wounds, I do happen to know because I read something, but they can actually cause you to die. But in a narrative way, you die in the story. There's no permadeath per se. You actually play through the experience of death, and eventually you can actually come back into the game, into the main narrative of the game from there. But you actually accumulate in related to or relationships with various entities, and if you actually go into the experience of death, that narrative, you can actually play chess with death, which if you're an Ingmar Bergman fan might be something that you recall, or at least you recall probably the image of Max von Sydow playing chess with death. But you can actually sort of grind out higher and higher relationships with various entities. And one of the things you can do while you're dead is actually create a really high relationship level. Or you play through chess and you accumulate moves or something like that. Anyhow, I haven't died yet, so I haven't experienced that directly. And so basically what I've been doing is I've been sort of moving around. There's a couple places that I have access to now that I didn't at the beginning of the game. The House of Chimes happens to be a particular location that's unlocked when you subscribe for the monthly amount. And there are lodgings and spite and a couple other Flit I had to acquire. The Vale Garden and Ladybones Road I had. Shuttered Palace is one that I acquired. I think Watchmaker Hill was there at the beginning, if I recall correctly, and then Miss Plenty's Carnival was something that opened up later. If you've played Sunless Sea, you might actually recognize some of the art and the art style. Obviously, it's carried over quite a bit into that game. And I might use some of this stream to actually play Sunless Sea, just so you can sort of see the difference. There's also the ad in the upper right corner you can see for the Steam game. If I do play it, they're actually changing some stuff, especially apparently the combat. They've decided to do it a whole different way, and so if I do show you that, be aware that it's actually changing a little bit as it goes through its early access. So they're finding out things about the gameplay and things like that that they're trying to implement, and finding out that they can do things in a different way than they had thought they would. So it would be a slightly different experience if you were to just get into it after we take a look at it. But what should I do, I wonder? Nobody in chat to ask, but well, What to do. Where do you go when you want to go where fashion sits? Yeah. What do I got in here? So click on an opportunity card to play it. So that there was the map, this stuff. That you can travel to each. You can actually travel. It doesn't cost anything to as far as an event or an action on the action counter to travel to one of these areas. So you can actually bounce around to all the different areas and see what's up without having to spend a whole bunch of actions just to get to the various places. There are some specialty events places that. Like right now there's a place where you can go on a ferry out to one of the islands, and it does actually cost some events, and I think also some in-game currency, some items you have to collect in order to make it to the island. But that's sort of an exception rather than the normal way of traveling. I started with only 2. You can see there's 3 cards in my in front of me, and I have 6 cards waiting in my deck. Those accumulate over time, so if I were to play through all 9 of the ones that I have available, then there would actually be no cards available until the timer had. So there's a little bit of gating as far as those opportunity cards. You can actually spend the in-game currency to reload those. You can spend in-game currency to get extra actions. The only thing I've spent I spent actually quite a bit of in-game currency, but I opened up a couple storylines, and every once in a while there's a story where there's one option in the menu of things that you can do in response to the activity that costs next some of the in-game currency to open up. But I also spent some on getting monthly access to the extra activities and things like that. And then so there's that opportunity card, and those are somewhat random, but they're unlocked. So if you actually look, so I just clicked on the one, you'll notice there's a little frequency. This card appears with standard frequency. Some of them are unlocked based on qualities that you have or as you go through. So this particular one is the Kaleidoscopic Church, and basically these play mostly out of order unless they're unlocked by some some sequence of events that you've been doing, and we may run into 1 or 2 of those. The borders of them, you might have noticed one of them, I think, had a different border. Some of the borders indicate how often they are that you're going to be able to do them. Like there's a bronze and a gold, and I think the gold is like it only ever happens once, so you kind of have to live with the results of what you got. But so this particular activity, the Kaleidoscopic Church, since its vicar welcomed a coterie of artists into the congregation, the small church has become a very different place. Unmarried ladies attended without a chaperone. Oh my. It's that kind of church. Light music is played during the service, and now a final outrage. Respected grey stone daubed in jaunty pastels. Oh, pastel. And so what am I going to do in response to that? There's an option to record this in your journal, which I haven't actually done that even once yet, but you can keep sort of a ongoing personal record, sort of a quest log, if you will, that doesn't ever go away of things. So if you see something that was particularly interesting, you can save it. Excuse me. Save it to your journal. And then there's also profiles, and so you can actually browse other people's public journals and see things that they've done, various things like that. You can also look at the profiles, and you can see what other people are wearing and what they have on their mantelpiece and where they live, and various achievements and things like that are in their particular profiles. So one of the options I have, is to make it clear the Bohemians aren't welcome anymore. Well, I'm probably not going to do that because I actually kind of like being a bit of a Bohemian myself, and not very connected to the church. But you'll also notice that on each of these there's a little bit of extra information. A low-risk challenge, and your dangerous quality gives you a 90% chance of success on this particular thing. And if you look over on the side here, my dangerous is 45%. Strength, ferocity, soldiering. Dangerous improves as you attempt dangerous tasks. You can improve it faster by spending hard-earned lessons at your lodgings. Each of these activities go up as you do challenges, and the lower the risk challenge, the less advancement you get. Even if you fail a thing, you can advance quite fast if you are doing something that's very, very risky or challenging. So you kind of want to balance. You want to find something that's really challenging but doesn't have like a really big sort of penalty, like wounds or nightmares. So if you find one of those, you can oftentimes you can actually sort of grind out advancement on those particular events. And basically all you're doing is trading your actions in the upper corner here for advancement in your particular skills. So I could seduce the group's leader and convince them to leave. Of course, they insist they have no leader. Bohemians are like that. You just can't deal with them. A little bit of wobbly in them, perhaps. But one has that fascinating flame of destructive genius that draws others like moths. Oh, and so the sort of bold italic pieces here, some loss of connected Bohemian, greater increase in connected the church. So those are the relationships that I was talking about. As you play, you have a better and better relationships with particular entities, and you can actually decrease your relationships with some. And there's a bunch of different factions that are in the game. Some loss of connected Bohemian, greater increase in connected to the church. So that's pretty much actually the same deal. This one is a persuasive challenge. My persuasive gives me a 90% chance of success. You'll notice there's this little check mark. I could actually check that, spend a confident smile to ensure a second chance. That's actually something that's in my inventory that I've earned, and you can see down here, persuasive. 62, captivating, wit, charm, plausibility, verisimilitude. Persuasive improves as you attempt persuasive tasks. You can improve it faster by spending confident smiles at your lodging. And then here is from my inventory, it just automatically shows up. Confident smile, your self-assurance is beguiling. Gives a second chance of persuasion challenge. Acquire these by attending to matters of society and scandal at your lodgings. And you'll notice actually I have 2 sudden info, which is so the thing that gives you second chances for each of the main qualities is different, and you collect those through playing through the narratives. Let's see. So the other action here is secure the artist's work. Damn the church's offer. Art is art. Some loss of connected the church, greater increase in connected Bohemian, so that's the opposite one. Now, and this is an example of sort of a different option. Convince both parties that they're spiritual allies. It'll take time and committees, lots of committees. Ugh. This will take 5 actions. So of my 40, it'll take 5, whereas these would only take 1 action. And it's based on my persuasive. And generally my strategy has been to pick the one that was the most challenging and actually just go ahead and do that. I might not have if it was setting relationships in a particular way, but excuse me. This is very chancy, and so my increase in persuasive quality would be greater if I just picked that particular one. And so I'm actually going to probably go ahead and pick that. It'll take 5 actions, but it rewards with romantic notions and incendiary gossip, even on a failure. So I win either way, and I might be able to farm it, although 5 actions is quite a lot to pay. But I will do this once. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and, let me scroll up and select that. And then scroll down. Progress is slow. One point of contention is resolved, another arises, necessitating a further subcommittee. Ugh. Was introducing absence to the process a good idea? Of course it was. Duh. The meetings are certainly more impassioned. But perhaps you've just incentivized both parties to hold more of them. Yeah. There is that. So the result of this particular narrative branch option was that my persuasive increased from 60 to a little bit. I failed the challenge, so I didn't get whatever the positive reward was, but I still do. Excuse me, it's been a long day. Gained 5 romantic notions, mu total 19, and I gained 1 incendiary gossip, mu total 12. And then the only option here is onwards. Sometimes there's a try again and you can farm it, but onwards it is. And let's see what's next. So that was the end of that particular card. The other tabs at the top here, messages. I'm pretty sure if you go to your lodgings, you can invite other players to play particular storylets. So there's a little bit of a sort of a asymmetrical co-op that you can do. You can have groups of people playing together at their own pace, sort of like play by mail. But then what actually happens is this recently 2 days ago message is actually related to a particular profession, which I can't off the top of my head recall what my profession was. I think it was author, or maybe it was journalist or something like that. It was related to writing. I don't think it was detective work. It might have been. Actually, I'm not sure what my profession is right now. But if you have a profession and there's multiples related to the particular stats, then you get a weekly reward. Yeah. And then also, actually, as you play through, some of the stories interact with you, and so Fallen London will, sort of send an email nag to let you know that there's activity going on. But it's more sort of immersive because it's a message from one of the characters or a message about an event that occurred related to one of the stories that was on a time delay of some kind. So that's kind of cool. And at the top here, you can actually see the visit the fruits of the Z Festival. This Z is sea. It's the underground sea, as in the sunless sea in the other game. And there's Zailers and submarines and the Untersee, the undersea, and so they the Z-bats and various creatures and things like that. So it's one of the particular narrative lexical elements. But you can actually travel to this particular island. That's the one that I was talking about, that you can spend some extra activities to get to the island, and then you can play through some stories that are time-based. And there are other time-based gates that open up and close based on particular events, so like particular days. Let's see. Oh, sorry about the yawning. It's been a crazy day. I wasn't supposed to go in, but I ended up doing a bunch of stuff to help out with a nonprofit food bank. Anyhow, it's a long story. And has nothing to do with this stream whatsoever. And then myself. So this is actually the inventory, sort of the paper doll. So you have a cameo, and then a picture of your lodgings. You can have different lodgings based. You collect in particular different kinds of currencies, and then you pay for it. So the different lodgings are gated based on in-game events. And when we were looking at the opportunity cards, I had 3 that were up. You start with 2, and then actually it increases based on your lodgings. Later on, I think there's one that gives you 4, but I can't quite remember. But I think that's the only thing that increases the number of those. You can see there's a whole bunch of stuff I don't have: affiliation and transportation and home comfort and ship and spouse and club, scrapbook and mantelpiece and all that kind of stuff that I just don't even have yet. But there's also all of these qualities that are acquired based on the narratives that you play, and you collect those, and they increase or decrease, or you lose them or you gain them based on how you interact with various things. And some of them have counters that go up or down, and some of them are, I think, just single binary. Either you've got the quality or you don't. And then in my inventory, you can see it's separated out by different categories, like academic. And then the inventory items with the green border are ones that you can click on, and you can actually, if you're not in a story, you can actually start an event. So I just clicked on that, the candle, and that opens up some options for a particular story. And I haven't clicked on all of them, but I think some of them open up entire storylines. And then my cameo, and then so I've purchased a hat and I've purchased some clothing, and actually this was something I acquired. The Fourth City Rags was something I acquired in a narrative event, and my weapon is just warm amber, which is kind of bizarre. But the boots I bought. And the Green-Eyed Devil was a companion that I acquired based on a particular storyline, and then you actually acquire a whole bunch of different ones. And there's a couple storylines that open up based on having a whole bunch of the different companions. And you'll notice I'm hovering over the tooltip on this: Dangerous +5, Persuasive -1, and then Watchful +8, Shadowy +6, Dreaded +1. Oh, that's where the Dreaded came from. So those are advantages and disadvantages of particular items that they give you the different qualities as well as being sort of cosmetic. And there is in-game shopping at various different stores. Not much crafting that I recognize. I mean, there's some events that pop up that you craft some of the things in your inventory into other things, but it's not like a true crafting sort of thing where you craft resources, things that you then sell from inventory. Well, okay, not entirely true. Because I actually played some storylets where I was doing writing, and there's a balancing, like the number of pages that you write versus the potential of the story, and you've got to keep that sort of juggled. And then at the end of it, you package up the best manuscript that you can, and then out of that you get something into the inventory, a book or whatever that you can actually then sell. So there actually is some crafting now that I think about it, and had spent time saying that there wasn't any. There actually is some crafting. I suppose the other professions also have something similar, or maybe only some of them do, which would be a way of differentiating the professions. Yeah, so I mean, I've got a whole bunch of stuff, and they're useful. You pay for certain narrative options with substances that you have in your inventory, so some of them get locked based on when you don't have them. The bazaar is a place, this is where you can sell your own things, and then there's all these different stores with stuff and things, stuff and things that you can't afford because you have no money at all. There's very, very little accumulation of money. This is very period as far as not actually having a lot. But there's some fun stuff, like the parabola linen frock, which actually looks pretty cool. Oh, and here's the land agency, Pensock's Land Agency. That's a place where you can, so you buy the different in-game housing, and apparently you keep the key. So it's not a matter of like you buy the key and then it's in your inventory, but you keep it once you click on it, and that opens up the lodging, and then you move there. But you still have the old keys that you had, and you also have the key that you just got. So Oh, and here it's saying key to a rooftop shack allows 3 cards in your hand. Using this will change your current lodging. So you can see that. I think if we go to the total bottom, oops, helps if I hold over. Yeah, so it allows 4 cards in your hand. Because of the crazy 80,000 whispered secrets. That's just nuts. And next, that's the in-game currency. So you can see there's, you know, obviously the typical in-game currency kind of stuff. Refill the number of actions you can do, you know, various things. There are 3 options here for 25 necks each, which will open up narrative storylines, and the cost depends on how much you pay, obviously, but it's basically you know, relatively inexpensive. But I mean, it always adds up. It adds up. I'm just saying, it adds up. Where are you? And help, because sometimes you just need a little help. You know, it's nothing against you. It's not saying you're a bad person. Not saying, you know, anything bad about you, but sometimes you just need to read the manual. And actually, I had occasion to send a bug report about a typo on one of the cards. Somehow it got routed at the Sunless Sea bug report form. I don't know what happened, but maybe that was another bug. But they seemed really nice, so they seem to be relatively cool and nice people. They've got a blog. You can follow along with the development of Sunless Sea and various things, and they had a comic book that they did, or were going to do, or they did, but it didn't pan out, Kickstart, so they were doing a crowdfunding on it. I think they're still planning on doing it or something, but it just didn't quite pan out right away. Anyhow, so that's the tabs, and I'm going to go back to the messages. Let's take a look here. So I have the 1 space left for a card. And I've been saving this visit one because I don't have any of these things, but it seems like it's a standard frequency. I could just toss it. I'm going to discard that one. And then refill. Oh, and here's, you can see the difference in the borders. So this is a bronze border. It just means that it's a little bit more rare. It's not a gold border that happens only once. You can also see down here that one of the storylets, the Department of Menace Eradication, down here actually has the border as well, meaning that, I don't know exactly what it means, but I'm going to say that I know as something like, you know, it's unlocked based on particular qualities that you might have or something like that. Or it's an indication that this is actually the beginning of a storylet of some kind that you play through instead of just going back to your main thing right away, that you need to, like, begin it and then you continue and you spend a bunch of activities taking care, you know. You just gotta take care of it. Because it haunts you otherwise. I don't really want to do any of these things. Well, let's click on this. So there are characters in the narratives. There's Mr. Pages and Mr. Chimes and a couple others, and they are sort of archons of some kind that I'm not entirely sure. I haven't reached a point in the narrative where they really are all that relevant to me yet. Mr. Pages I've interacted with once or twice, and 1 or 2 others, I think. A librariette for Mr. Pages. Mr. Pages has announced a campaign to recover and sequester what he describes as pestilent and obscurant literature. I don't actually know what that word means. It's not very often that I run into words that I don't know what they are. Obstinate. Whoa, what? Let us try obstinate. I hear somebody on Twitter saying, is it even a word? Is that even a word? The only place you get it is Fallen London. Okay, so you need 100 prescribed materials to even see this card. So this is one of the cards in my draw deck that I've gotten based on conditions that were prerequisite requirements. Infrequent frequency. Okay, so you can see there's things that are locked because there's these grayed out things. So if I had 10,000 prescribed materials, then I could do that. And then there's other various qualities that are things that I would need to accumulate in order to open this other one. An assortment of pamphlets. If your reserves of seditious literature are not voluminous, you could still make a small donation. Mr. Pages would probably be grateful. A matter of luck. How can you fail? What the hell? Might as well. I'm going to lose some of the prescribed materials, though, but I was fortunate. An appreciative epissive. The next morning, you receive a note praising your donations. Upgrade. Illuminations. Mr. Pages has heard many rumors about scrocious. Scurrilous, I imagine, is related to that. Rumors about you, of course, they are mere goshoods, mere fabricendos, obvious and verbally uninventive lies peddled by your most antagofractious foes. However, you came by these highly illegal texts, and Mr. Pages is sure your conduct was immaculous. It concludes with some intimations about your enemies that are as compromising as they are inapprehensible. Because my enemies are kind of like that. I was fortunate. Scandal is dropping, so I lost a little bit of scandal. Lost suspicion, which is great. So suspicion down here is now 0. And you've gained 3 incendiary gossips, and you've lost 100 prescribed materials. Well, that's unfortunate. And onwards. The ways of the flit. So the flit was one of the locations that was on the map. The swaying ropes above the street, unlocked with shadowy forgery. That previous card has sent me for a loop. And I have 63. An old street sign. Hey! There's actually a thing that unlocks if there's a location on the map that I can get to if I can get an old London street sign. When London was kneaded into its new form, Fallen London, so it's a London that's underground, and there's this whole thing about the surface world and surface currency and interrelating and relating to the surface, or separating themselves finally from the surface world. And this is an underground, sort of beneath the earth, core of the earth, Middle Earth kind of place. The masters declared the old street signs contraband. They say you can still find them in the flit if you're quick and lucky. Fancy a climb? And chancy, my shadowy quality gives me 54% chance of success. Well, okay, let's try it. Oh, I failed. Not quick enough. Not lucky enough. If there are street signs still left up here, They're only known to bats. Shadowy is increasing. Shadowy 63 failed. Huh. Shadowy 63? Is that saying that that's what I rolled? With 63%? Shadowy 63 failed in the challenge. When you try a challenge that's difficult for you, you learn more even when you fail. So what is my actual shadowy? Okay. The reason why those numbers are off, I always forget, is actually here. If you look, the shadowy 51 plus 12, so the 63 is including my bonuses, and the shadowy increasing is based on my raw, unmodified scores. Anyhow, so onward we go. And now I'm in, so my location, welcome to the Flit, dangerous friend, is, so I'm on the map in a different location now. And so the storylets here have changed. But let us undergo the hammer. Gossip has it that something special is for sale at a low-grade auction house. Unlock with playing with broken toys. Playing with broken toys, 1 is saying that you have played a particular narrative line to a particular state of oneness, and I have a state of two-ness, which is different from wearing a tutu or Tunisia. Yeah. So I've actually played it farther than is required to get this card, but this card is unlocked because I have played part of that narrative. So it's gonna, I assume, would be part of the narrative. Let's go take a look. Under the hammer, Gossip has it that's, I just read that. You've narrowed, oh no I haven't. At a low-grade auction house, you've narrowed it down to 3 sales. All bidding is in Glim. So I actually have Glim. Glim, I have 733. Wow, good gosh. Bid for the cardboard box. Bid for the dusty bottles. Bid for the battered books. Well, I can't really go with anything other than, except this one's 80. I've tended to go with the strategy of going with the most expensive one, if I can afford it. Champagne taste, tap water budget. But the battered books is 40 and the dusty bottles is 80. They're blue and unlabeled. They must have Smurfs in them. I'm gonna go for the books. Not for all eyes. Unprising the pages apart. I like that. Unprising the pages apart. You realize that these are copies of that book. You know, the one with the illustrations. Banned from public Banned from public sale and still selling like hotcakes amongst both literati and illiterati. Underplaying covers, of course. 10 prescribed materials, and so I'm now back up to 13. And I've lost the 40 Glim, so not sure that was great, and not sure why that would be useful or important. I must have picked the wrong one. I probably should pick the cardboard box, yeah, because it was about toys. You'd think it'd be in the cardboard box. Might be where the toy was. I'm losing my touch on the toys. Storylets. You can actually see ticking down. 5 cards waiting, another one in 2 minutes and 0 seconds, 1 minute and 50 something seconds. So it accumulates new cards up to 6. I think that's the highest that you can accumulate. Oh, we got a couple rare. So unlocked and unlocked and unlocked. All 3 of these ones are related to things that I've done. Revolutionary Firebrand. It's rare for an anarchist to be quite this good looking or quite this reserved. Well, don't I know it? Oh wait, I was talking about somebody else. Alrighty then. The revolutionary firebrand. It's also rare for him to attend social events, so you might want to take the opportunity to talk to him. Well, all right. Approach him is a straightforward 100% challenge, which I can decide to spend confidence miles to make sure that I can do again, even though I would have accomplished it successfully the first time, if you know what I'm saying, without even trying. Straightforward challenge, 93% persuasive. Well, of course I'm going to pick that one. Be alluring and he'll come to you. And, ta-da! Persuasive is increasing. Okay. Make eye contact through lowered lashes. At the very end of the evening, he approaches and helps you into your coat. He bows stiffly, and suddenly everyone wants to be your friend. Yes. I succeeded in the persuasive challenge. Simple challenges, which it was, doesn't mean I don't learn as much. An occurrence. You're intimate with a revolutionary firebrand qualities now, too. Making waves is increasing 3 to 4. Making waves is a quality when you do noteworthy events, and there are several scales of what noteworthiness is in this game, but making waves, there's one of the ways that you can accumulate. I don't know what happens when you get to a particular level yet. I don't think I've gotten any narrative events that were related to making waves yet, other than accumulating it, so I haven't achieved any. Gotten up pretty high though. I think I had it at 7 once, which seems like it should trigger something at that point, right? Onward we go. Let's go with this guy. Taking matters into your own hands. You tire of being bandied about between the Duchess and the Widow, two of the characters in the narrative. It's time to poke your nose where it doesn't belong. Follow the Duchess's servant. She has employed a gangly youth from the surface. His naivete is charming and convenient. Modest challenge of 77, 71%, so that's probably what I'm going to pick. Following the widow's men, let's see what they know about their mistress and her brandy. Visual glitch there. That's actually on my screen too. Very modest challenge. Okay, servants love to gossip. The widows are no exception. They dine on the dock and discuss their mistress. One mentions the widow's late husband in hushed tones. The servant's grandfather worked for her. The widow's husband was a fearsome man, and his death was a mercy for all his workers. You wonder how dangerous the widow's husband was to make his servants grateful to work for his wife. Because widow. Shadowy is increasing. You succeeded in a shadowy challenge. Yeah, not a very challenging challenge. Gained 26 cryptic clues, and In Search of a Stiff Drink has increased to 2. Ooh. Extraordinary thirst demands an extraordinary beverage. That sounds like a commercial. And another one that was unlocked, a plea from an old friend. I had, in the narrative, I had seduced an artist's model, and then we parted ways. I guess we just sort of, we got bored of each other. What are you going to do? You run into an artist model you once knew. She seems to be doing well for herself, although a faint aura of the Veil Garden still clings. Oh, I think we drank the psychedelic honey or something. She could use your assistance with an over-eager suitor. A polite enough fellow, but he just won't give up. God, people need to fucking learn how to take no for an answer. Pardon my French. But sometimes you just gotta speak French. Trounce the fellow. That's pretty tempting. Straightforward challenge, persuade the fellow. Actually, he's not bad looking. I've been selecting this because it's persuasive, and I'm not going to learn anything the other ways, so I might as well take what learning I can out of it and get some persuasive. An acceptable interlude. This was an entertaining evening, but he's a lot duller at close quarters than you expected. people usually are. Me, for example, I'm incredibly boring. And frankly, he was more interesting when he was in love with someone else. Yeah. Now he follows you around all day trying to give you flowers. Paper flowers. At least if they were real, you could sell the wretched things on to someone else. Perhaps you can find someone to take him off your hands. Succeeded in the challenge. Increased hedonist. One more to reach 5. Subtle. One more to reach 5. Someone is coming is increasing. 2. And I think I've had that trigger a couple times, but I don't remember. Is it someone from the surface or something like that, and then you have to deal with them? And you get to pick, like when that happens, somebody shows up and then you pick who they actually turn out to be, so you're actually kind of writing your own, is it a former rival or, a fawning fan or whatever. Let's see, play the story, let's call it, that you've unlocked. Fun with the Fisher Kings, urchins, cornering the fence. I don't think I played through this one, because I actually have here evidence that this was part of a storyline that I didn't finish. Gain this in the Flit or Mahogany Hall and continue the story in Spite. So I am going to go ahead and trigger that and see what it is. You've picked up the trail of the stuttering fence, who dragged you into the affair of the box. He's back in the rooftops and bridges of the Flit. Find him among the bat coops. Although he's not a bat fancier himself, the stuttering fence hides among them. Shadow College 57. Well, let's do it. I succeeded. Grabbed in the guano. Ooh. I want to take a shower now. You finally sneak up on the stuttering fence, and a cloud of bats scatters as you grab him. I did this and actually failed previously, so you have a robust and frank exchange on the subject of iron boxes. What do you think? Iron boxes. Then it becomes apparent that the stuttering fence had you steal the box from a courier that he himself employed. This, it transpires, is because its original owner found out he had it. The original owner is Mr. Stones, a master of the bizarre. This can't be good. Shadowy is increasing, 51. You succeeded in a Saturday challenge. Risky challenges means I learned a little bit more. An occurrence. You're a survivor of the affair of the box. Quality is now 4. I gained 1 appalling secret. That's too bad there's nobody in chat to, kibitz. And that actually canceled out. Courier for the revolutionaries. Several cells of the revolutionaries have retreated from the gaze of the constables to the precarious walkways of the Flit. Well, let's go ahead and trigger that. Taking messages. The revolutionaries need someone not of their number to take messages quickly to their earthbound colleagues. Speed in the Flit is dangerous. This will take courage and precision. And a chancy challenge. 57%. Well, let's do it. A little bonus. You swing on what appears to be a ship's cable around a wall studded with bat traps and through a plume of delicious smoke rising from some unseen bakery. It's a close thing, but you hand over your satchel of messages to your contact on a church roof, who presses a bulging leather wallet into your hands before he scurries off like a freaking perv. Shadowy is increasing. Prescribed materials and surface currency. I need 100 or 200 surface currency to open up a particular area on the map. So, should I try it again? I've got 30 actions left. Let's try it again. Go! I failed. Oh, and I'm going to get suspicion. Okay, well, I'll just go onwards. Meet the Topsy King. The Topsy King, a notorious beggar king of the flit. Well, hey, let's say hello. Hello. Hello, Topsy King. Nice to know you. Oh, though he's far from royalty, you should probably present yourself. Oh, yes, he's supposed to be incomprehensibly insane. I wouldn't know anything about that. Speaking of incomprehensibly insane, I don't know what it is. It just happens. You know when you're in an MMO and you're kind of just like going down the main path or whatever, and then all of a sudden something spawns and aggroes on you, and there's no way to escape because it just shows up in your way. That actually happened to me today. Some obviously dangerous person just sort of spawned in front of me as I was minding my own business. And I don't mean spawn in a activity way. I meant in an occurrence way. And he's like growling and spitting at me and all sorts of stuff like that. I don't know what it is. It's not aggro insane people. It's like getting hit by cars. It's just not safe out there, people. I just don't go outside. I think that's mainly the lesson. We should all just be inside streaming games at each other. Okay, so present my credentials, a chancy challenge. 60% was shadowy. Try to understand what he's saying. The Woxie's much glaw for cloying this night. What? What are you saying to me? A very chancy challenge. Well, 48%. I think I gotta do it. I just gotta do it. We're gonna try and understand them. I failed. And my nightmares increased. Mom, I'm gonna try it one more time. You can't really understand anything he said. The Topsy King chatters away happily, and you fear something awful has happened to his mind. Was he once like you? Is he Gollum? What goes on in the windswept corners of the flit? Try it again. Very chancy. Let's do it. I succeeded. Moxie's is in the flit, right? There is some reason to what he says, but you suspect that much of his patois is either a charade or genuine madness. You discern a few words from the gutter cant, but there is plenty that you have never heard before. The Topsy King is happy to chatter away in his windy court, though, and you manage to sieve out some useful pieces. Watchful is increasing. I succeeded in the challenge, and I've gained 66 whispered secret. Connected to criminals is increasing. Okay, onward. Onward, fallen Londoner. Getting to know the flit. Ah, what the heck. Go for a wander, go for a run. No, I've done those. I don't want to do those. Let's click cards. Oh, two of those are the same. Whispers from the Surface, the great game. Oh, that's not the same. Someone's taking an interest in your affairs. Ooh. In search for a stiff drink? Well, let's click on that. You're walking home when you notice men climbing through your window. Happens all the time. We'll see about that. Greet them like a Papa Holst. Like Cato. Anyone in your house is treated as a guest, even thieves. Besides, if this is about wine, you might as well have a drink. I was supposed to get wine today. From Club W, and I was supposed to be here all day, and then the stuff happened, as stuff tends to happen, as it is wont to do, and so I wasn't here. Hopefully, crap, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, maybe? I don't know. Well, we'll find out. An awkward evening. You slip into the house. Oh, I failed. Dang. Slip into the house from the other side, lock the intruder in. He's cornered in your parlor. Your attempt to charm him fails. You spend a gloomy evening staring at one another in silence. Finally, the sound of stomachs growling is too much to take. You let Persuasive is increasing. Unaccountably peckish. It hasn't changed because it's lower than 1. Which probably means 0. I don't think there are negative numbers on these stats. Scandal is increasing 4 to 5. So this was different. Whispers, the Great Game. The Great Game, sort of the political intrigue. Whispers for half a century, the agents of the powers played their great game in Central Asia. Now London is their tournament ground. Oh, I've done this before. Improve my watchful. Locked. There's only one thing I can do. Get some work done at Clattermouth Tattoo Parlor. I'm gonna get a polish. Politics, whatever. Get a tattoo. Something small and unobtrusive, like a butterfly, or, I don't know, something? Sparrows? You get the right one. If I get the right one, spies will know you as one of their own, in intimate moments at least. This will improve your watchful. Let's go for it. Uh-oh. Steadfast dropped to 1. That was more painful than I expected. The tattoo itches abominably. No matter. You're in the game now, for better or worse. Watchful is increasing, connected to the Great Game, dropped to 5, dabbling from 10 to 5? Really? Dang. Subtleness has increased to 5. Cunning as... Why are there no foxes in this city? Steadfast has dropped to 1. Key from an old friend. I think we just did that. Just won't give up. Okay, we'll do that one again. Ooh, I'm licentious now. Last card. Charming of F.F. Gabrant. F.F. Gabrant makes one of the alcohols in the game, unlocked with Persuasive 57. And occasionally seen at Mr. Wine's Revels. Mr. Wine being one of the other Archons. Revels 1. Let's do it. Very chancy. Ask her some pertinent questions about the replicability of her third vitreous rarefaction. Or some such thing. Watchful increases 44%. Okay, let's try it. I failed. Ow. Why have you fail all the time? Why did you fail, Mr. Eccles? It seems that F.F. Gabrant can spot a dilettante at 50. Oh, man, I've been discovered again. You retreat to your familiar scientific grounds, and she gives you a few answers before moving on to another student. Damn her perspicacity. Yeah, that's right. Onward. Okay, here's the no cards waiting, and I could click on that and pay to get additional cards, but no point in that. So I'm in the flit. Let's not be in the flit anymore. Where was I? Watchmaker Hill? Watchmaker Hill. Business. I don't want to do that one. Do I? Well, let's begin. What is it? Department of Menace Eradication. The department's chief office is an incongruously handsome 17th century building. Though the years and the fall have taken their toll, its white walls have darkened to a shade between nicotine and ivory. It lies between the hill and the river. Step carefully in the entrance hall. Tiles tilt. Let's see. Rat catcher. 2 actions. 5 actions. Oh, this is an example, yeah. So I can find a rat catcher, Follow a chandler to her workshop. Claim bounty for dead rats on a string. A worrying large rat I can hunt. And then here's an example of the contract a miniature menace. I've actually done this one. But you can pay 3 fate. So it's actually the next fate and next you can spend on opening up this option. And then there's an option here that requires something I do not have. Impossible. Oh, it's a storyline that hasn't been written into the game yet. Dangerous 10. Dangerous 1. Let's do the large rat. A rat, but a rat of frankly offensive size. A number of them came ashore in the wreck. Yeah, see, of the Matilda Bridge, eh? Yeah, bridge, see. This one's been making a nuisance of itself up and down Bugsby's Reach, if you see what I'm saying, and you might want to take care of that. Attacking terriers, carrying off small children. Can you sort the damn thing out? You're hunting a worrying large rat. Occurrence. Your quarry. Confounded thing is hiding. Quality is now 10. Currency your quarry's savagery quality is now 15. Your quarry must be tempted by poisoned bait. May be tempted by poisoned bait. So let us find out what this is. That's dark. Straightforward. Wariness is too high. I think this is the one, like, if I just sort of grind this one, I'll get it. Succeeded, dangerous challenge. Hiding is now 8, so it can't hide forever. I'm just going to grind this out. Succeeded, hasn't changed because it's lower than 1. Grinding it out. Same stuff. I know where it is. You know where the rat is layering. It uses his sewer entrance to come and go. Your path is clear. Your path is clear, unfortunately, it's only natural that vermin monsters nest in places that those of good breeding would choose not to go. But it's a dratted nuisance. It must be taken care of on this reeking labyrinth. Almost 2,000 years old. In places you can still make out Roman brickwork. Which is not really true. That's kind of cool. Like the York Minster and various other places I remember seeing old Roman temples underneath the cathedrals, various layers and fun stuff. Mingled with that are still older cities, ones that were here before the bazaar took London. The rat is down here somewhere. Right. And an option. The challenge is dangerous and dangerous. Explore its lair. What the hell? Searching for trouble. A nest of squirming monsters. Dear God, it's female. Good thing you caught these abominations before they grew to full size. The Department of Menace Eradication will pay you a bonus for these. By Jiminy. Dangerous is increasing. 45, it says. Yes. 9 points change, eh? Not bad. 37 more needed to reach level 46. That's quite a few. I have succeeded, however, in a dangerous challenge. But it was a simple one. Dangerous is increasing. Dangerous is increasing twice. What the bloody hell was that? Why is it increasing twice? I was dangerous, and then I was dangerous again. As I wasn't even dangerous enough, apparently. I had to do it twice. I gained 50 rat on a string. Oh, well, I got them, didn't I? Quarry savagery has been reset. A conclusion or a new beginning, which I assume is just the clue that you can grind it. You can repeatable quest. Reward. Let's get a reward. Not quite its weight in rusty gold. A grinning functionary counts the rusty gold out in the currency of a long extinct city. 100 hearty thank yous. Cannot tell you just how much I dislike rats. I wonder sometimes if I should find other employment. So many rats in this city. I hear London had rats above. Well, perhaps so. But it can be as nothing to this tide of festering cunning that daily avails us. The department will not rest until every rat in the city has been converted to leathery trophy skin. The man has an inclination to optimism. I've gained 200 rusty gold. You no longer have a quarry. A quarry will no longer be tempted by poisoned bait. Just so you know, the quarry that you no longer even have cannot be tempted by poisoned bait. More or less. Alrighty. What's to do? Oh, hey, let's do this. Get your quarry before Jack of Smiles. Jack of Smiles, Jack of the Ripper kind of a thing. Apparently we have some sort of rivalry going. The enthusiastic murderer has taken to choosing his victims from wanted posters of all things. Let's go. Get your quarry. Jackson claimed dibs. The red grin dawns across your quarry's wanted poster is a clear statement. A red grin? Hangouts is now part of the core Google apps. Okay, big deal. I need to find the target before he does. Modest challenge, 69% danger. Okay, let's do it. I succeeded. It's how you do it. With time short, you put subtlety aside. When a door bars your way, you kick it in. When someone lies, you scare the truth from them. And when your quarry sees you and runs for it, you bring him down in a maniacal chase through the alleys. The most interesting man in the underworld. Once he realizes you're not Jack of Smiles, however, he is so relieved he practically races you back to the police station to turn himself over. You collect the bounty, ignoring the itching sensation you feel, as if furious eyes are watching you. Danger is increasing. And I gained some rusty gold. Onward! But okay, I don't want to do any of that. Oh, and I've got another card now. Let's try that. Ugh, God, this one again. Alright, let's do it. Trounce him, persuade. Actually, he's not that bad looking. Well, that's the only one that gets me anything, so might as well. Yep. Travel. Plenty's Carnival. I've done most of this stuff already, but, Beneath the Neath. Wait, the nobbies. Go for a ride. How many tickets do I have? I have a couple. Beneath the Neath. Beneath, the underneath, as a game jargon, descend precipitously to abyssal depths, explore the unknown chasm. Yeah. Not without protection. I'll need a raincoat, sir. The carnival's big wheel lowers brave customers into the earth. It almost always brings them back, too. I don't know if I want to go anymore. Go for a ride. Beneath the Neath will take you far from the gaudy lights of the carnival. Oh, blissful. Deep under the surface of the Neath. What horrors lie there? What horrors? Get away, you maniac. Jack of Smiles has taken advantage of the darkness and isolation of the ride and stabs at you. His blow glances off you, leaving a bloody tear on your shoulder. He curses and runs away into the impenetrable subterranean gloom. I was unlucky. Better luck next time. You've lost 2 carnival tickets, but I've gained a new quality wounds, 1, scratches, and bruises. So you can actually see... Oh, it's not on there yet. But, onward. Game still? Yeah, I don't have to do that. House of Mirrors. What the heck? Oh, all locked. Gaze into the heart's mirror. The House of Mirrors. The House of Mirrors squats like an ape in a quiet corner of the carnival. Strange mirrors are labelled in a neat, scholarly hand. It's not a popular attraction. Warning, bad things happen here. Looking into the mirrors is the prerogative of the foolish. Well, it looks like a job for me then, eh? Bronze-framed mirror, the cavorting gargoyles round the frame are the weapons to the low. The surface is not glass, but glim, clarified in the embassy furnaces. Embassy being related to hell, the embassy where the devils would be. An inscription in the frame reads, "Be wary." Well, unlike the subtle one, ambition, light fingers. Well, I think we're going to have to do that one. A subtlety, 50% chance of success, eh? Yeah, got to be done. Nothing but to do it. Struggling battle. I failed. Shadowy, dropping. Something's wrong with the perspective of your reflection. Clambers across a landscape of jagged stones. Someone clings to your back. I hate that when that happens. Something is wrong with their face. There's a furtive, skittering movement in the crag, an outcropping around you. And you limp on, eyes fixed ahead, bats swirl around you like smoke. Well, fine. Onward. Okay, travel. Spite, flit. Where have I been? Vale Garden. We haven't done Vale Garden yet. Let's go there. I mean, I have, but you haven't. Or you may have, but not with me. Let's see. Oh, a card. A rather decadent evening. A select occasion. Ooh. Oh, almost impossible challenge. And a straight. It's engineer an invitation. You'll use this episode. Santa. Oh. 10% chance. Oh, well, let's do it. Pleasant evening. You can be drunk while in a honey dream. That's interesting. You don't make quite the splash you hope for, but you do take some goodies home with you. Persuasive is increasing. You succeeded in persuasive challenge. Connected Bohemian 11 failed. Try again. Better luck. Gained prisoners honey. Gained some wine. Connected has dropped. Making waves has increased. Scandal has increased to outrageous. Ambition Light Fingers. You are meeting Festa at the Singing Mandrake. Singing Mandrake. Well, let's go there. Singing Mandrake is in... Oh, Vale Garden. Was I there? Oh, I was there. Do I go in there? More. It's unclear whether I need to click on that or click on the Singing Mandrake, which is another option. Can you convince her to trust you? Very modest. 71%. Okay. Laughs and mercy. After half an hour of your charming company and a considerable quantity of rough stuff that is sold as wine here, Hephaestus warms to you. Well, thaws a little. She sends an urchin out half an hour later. Miss Plenty appears. She's the proprietress of the most notable carnival, which we were already at earlier, and a respected figure in Vale Garden, if almost nowhere else. She addresses you. She's hiding, dearie. But not from the likes of you. Her sister is up to her neck in some terrible business, and she's been dragged in. It's a fierce shame. They both sing like angels, so they do. She was supposed to come back for the Forgotten Quarter last week, a place on the map I have not been to yet, eh? I fears the worst for her. Well, you're on your way to fearing the worst too. Fearing the worst. You had better check the Forgotten Quarter. You didn't know she had a sister. You know what I mean? Persuasive is increasing. Succeeded a persuasive challenge. Ambition, Light Fingers has increased to 15. Onward! Onward. I can't get there, though. Forgotten Quarter. Travel to my lodgings, and... where is it? Other parts of the city. Wolfstack. Forgotten Quarter. What do I need? Need a watchful 60. I'm way from that. Oh, that's the one I need the street sign for. Okay, perhaps not. Shall I show you the Fruits of the Z Festival? Yeah, let's do that. I mean, that's a time-gated one, so let's go ahead and go. You actually pay... Oh, you pay moon pearls to get there. And if I know the way to Wolfstack Docks, I can go there without paying the surcharge. I do not know the way to Wolfstack Docks, so I will follow. Native Guide. Urchin leads you through the alleys to the Wolfstack Docks, to where a cheery ferry chugs beside a crowded jetty. That's a nice one. You've moved to a new area, Wolfstack Docks. You've lost 10 whispered secret. Onward. Catch a ferry. More moon pearls? Why do I have to pay so much? Visit quaint Mutton Island, the sign says. Blithesome locals will welcome you. Partake of their bucolic customs. Enjoy a conning fishing trip. Oh, the fishing trip. I didn't succeed in that last time. Indulge in a cornucopian repast of delights plucked fresh from the bounteous Z. In addition, famous wishing well, maypole dancing, drowny serenades, beer, and etc. That took 5 actions. Yeah, so that's kind of painful. Move to a new island. All aboard! An ebullient accordionist plays the crowd aboard. The vessel groans out of the harbour and across the black sea. It's some time before Mutton Island rises from the dark horizon. The whitewashed houses zigzag up the hillside, glow with coloured lanterns. Cheery accordion music drifts across the water. The ship bumps against a jetty festooned with bunting where rosy-cheeked locals help passengers onto the shore. The crew, you notice, do not disembark. They turn the ship back for London with haste, keen to bring their another crowd of tourists to the feast, no doubt. Or they just want to get the bloody hell out of here. You moved to a new area, Mutton Island. Lost 10 moon pearls. The merry lights of the island glimmer on the Z waves. Only to the east and south, though. North and west, the island is dark. The French hire a fishing vessel. Okay, we're just going to do this. Hire the... extraordinary applications. 8. We're gonna hire a fishing vessel because I'm gonna try and see if I can succeed at this. Go fishing to land a strange catch, which you can trade at the festival for special rewards, and you need like 3 or 4 of them, I think. Perhaps later. You should dispose of your strange catch because it zeroes out. So you need to have enough, but you can't start another fishing. So you've got to get enough of Strange Catch before quitting out of this story loop. And that's what I failed to do last time. So let's see if we can get enough. I think it's 3. Unlocked with Strange Catch 1, you have 3. Oh, how? The fruits of the V Festival. Fires blaze on the hillside, flowers garland the chimney stacks. Red-faced travelers cavort in naughty streets. And everywhere tables groan with feasters and feasted. As you play options on this card, look for various opportunities to trade a strange catch for rewards. You can land a strange catch by going fishing elsewhere on an island. Sacrifice. Well, sacrifice. Great tradition. You crowd around the well's shaft, whispers with wishes. You linger as you drop your catch and listen to as many as you can make out for the ruin of the veteran privy councillor and all his schemes and prospects. To have buckled, I gave up at Joshua's shrine with whoever it was. For her to look at me again, eh? To feast and feast and feast and feast and feast and boots and pants 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 and boots and pants. One more taste of red honey. A cluster of figures climb to the cliff top. Odd. There's nothing up there. Nightmares increased to 5 from 3. Oh, damn. You gained Appalling Secrets, Tale of Terror, Extraordinary Implications remained unchanged at 6, and I have the exact upside down of 666. Cryptic Clues. Strange Catch quality has gone. You've gained 5 Z stories. Okay, onward. Suspicion is 1. Let's lurk. Spy. Oh, well. It's the same thing. So, spy on a delivery for the custodial chef. He lingers in a shadowed cove. The lower your suspicion, the easier this will be. Your watchfulness score increases the reward. Well, let's do it. Lurk. Lurk to lurk. Lurk, 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 lurk. Bargain. A pair of drownies struggle up the beach. They carry a packet the size of a Hanson's wheel, folded in a shroud peeled from some drifting Z burial. With the king's reward, they say, and heave it before the chef's feet. He pragmatically has brought a wheelbarrow. You know, wheelbarrow is one of those weird words. As a kid, I thought it was wheelbarrow because I figured it was like originally a barrel, like cut in half, and so I always heard it as wheelbarrow, but it's a barrow. Barrow isn't really a word we use much anymore. As the barrow's lonely wheel squeaks away along the hillside path, you search the sands where the exchange took place. Here, a nugget of something fibrous, pelican in hue, the fathomless color of the Z-dance. You squeeze it between thumb and forefinger, it is distinctly rubbery. Shadowy is increasing. You succeeded in a shadowy challenge, gained 6 appalling secrets, and nightmare is increasing again. Halfway up the hillside stands the maypole. Ribbons twine around it, twists of bright color. Yay! The maypole. Watchfulness and persuasive. Persuasive's pretty high. So let's do watchfulness increases. Hark! Increased deranged. A world full of weeping. They sing of the sapping peace beneath the Z. Of a bed of silt and a blanket of black waves. Of pelican deeps sinking through illimitable fathoms. Come away, they sing. Come away. Tale of terror. On the quay, a twinkle-eyed lobsterman sells scones of rubbery lumps, perhaps like I just found earlier, to fresh tourists. Onward. Okay, perhaps not. Hire a fishing boat. Oh, I only have 6 actions left. Oh, let's try it. Running battle. During the festival, the waters around Mutton Island throng with all the bounty of the sea. If you can catch something, the locals will be happy to prepare it for you. Twinkle-eyed lobsterman will hire you a rowboat. Just have it back before 6, he tells you. The currents turn nasty in the evening. Go fishing and land a strange catch, which you can trade at the festival for special rewards. Oh. Okay, set out. Rusty gold. Only 10. That's not so bad. Embark on a fishing trip. The waters around Mutton Island are frisky. The boat is scuffed but sound. You lean to the oars until the sound of the festival diminish. There should be far enough. Onwards! Gone fishing. London's foremost reference work on modern angling is By Hook or Harpoon, the Art of Sea Fishing, by the listless baronet. Its author was considered an expert, even before he became a drownie, and his conversion transformed the book into a bestseller. According to his foreword, catching fish is mostly a matter of temperament. And inbreeding, no doubt. Increase your running battle to land a better catch until you have your gone fishing quality reaches 10. Employ fisherman's tricks. Spoil yourself. Employ fisherman's tricks. Hoodwink. Find a quiet spot. Let's steer. Reading your wouldn't dare approach that toothy parade of rocks, but according to this fragment retrieved from the captain's waterlogged collection, there is an navigable way through. Running battle shows your progress in the venture. Halfway up the hillside stands the many pole, the ribbons twined around it, twists of bright color. You've lost one map scrap, and Z-Bat flits overhead. Time is passing. I'm gonna run out of... Well, I can probably just pause in the storylet and wait for my actions to show up again. So going fishing. Okay, it's just a be unmoving. Chancy challenge. Do it. Yeah, we're gonna end up pausing in the middle of this thing. Discipline. You are as stern and stationary as the island's cliffs. The Z's denizens mistake you for scenery. Closer they glide, and closer still. You succeeded in an austere challenge. I don't... Austere? Running battle increased to 2. A raucous cheer from the beer tent. Austere is increasing. Forcefulness dropped to 1. Z-Bat. Time is passing. Fire shots in the water. Forceful quality? What? A forceful quality? Steadfast quality. Those are totally different. Well, let's shoot some stuff. Running battle. Open fire. It's not an artistic approach, but it must be at least as effective as mucking about with a stick and a bit of string. You unleash a happy volley into the waves. Careful to account for refraction. Forceful challenge. Running battle 3. Cluster figures climb to the cliff top. Oh, there's nothing up there. Forceful is increased to 2. Steadfast is dropping. An hour slips innocently by. Still plenty of time. Spoil myself. I'm low risk. No, we're gonna go chancy. Watch. Austere failed. Skittish. You can see them gliding under the boat. The muscle in your foot cramps. You twitch. The black depths are suddenly empty. Running battle has dropped to 2. Austere is increasing. Forceful dropped to 1. Straw-stuffed effigy stands on a roof. A robed thing. Are those wings? A hole has been cut through its middle. An unlit candle sits inside. An hour slips innocently by. Still plenty of time. Employ explosives. Remember the old fisherman's stories? Find an isolated cove. Fisherman's stories. Fruitless, he had much to say about foreigners and young folks, and serious concerns about the general increase in gallivanting, but as regards fishing, nothing, except that it used to be much better when he were a lad. Magnanimous 3 failed. Running battle dropping? Oh no. Drownies bob in the water, calling to tourists on the waterfront. They're not normally so bold. Magnanimous is increasing. Hedonist is dropping. The false stars wink far above. You're about half your time left. Yeah, well, I've only got one action left, so we're going to actually find that I'm going to run out here. Recall. Oh, same one. Time is running short. Onwards. And now we're going to see not enough actions left, so I'm paused in the middle of a fishing trip. Might as well make the best of it. So that's a bit of Fallen London for you. It's definitely a very narrative, sort of play by choose your own adventure kind of style. Interactive narrative storytelling, kind of different, fun. If you're into sort of, you can actually go at a quicker pace. I mean, I've clicked through without reading a couple times, but you can also take your time and have fun. So I think probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause here, take a little break, and then I might come back and do a little bit of Sunless Sea if I have the heart for it, because I keep dying. I keep dying. It's brutal. Whereas Fallen London, you basically never die. Even if you die, you're not dead. In Sunless Sea, it's just unpleasant. It's roguelike. It's roguelike, I say. It's roguelike. Yes. So anyhow, we'll take a break and come back later, or since there's actually no one in the chat room, you're watching this. If you're watching this, you're watching this on video, on a recorded stream, on a thing, on a thong, on a string. Moving right along. Yeah, bye. Or not bye, because I wasn't on the right thing to click. There we go. Okay. So long, subscribe. I mean, not subscribe, but follow along if you would. That'd be awesome. And hopefully